guys, my name's Lorna and today I'm going to make a creamy pork and pear casserole. So I can't wait, let's get started. So here I've got my ingredients here ready to start cooking. I have got 4 pork loin steaks which I have sliced and took most of the fat rind off of. I've got 2 medium onions, I've got 2 pears which I have peeled and taken the core out of. I've got some asparagus, we've got cream, oil, plain flour, some garlic, some sage and some cider. So let's start cooking it, shall we? So I've just put the heat on under this beautiful frying pan and I'm just going to put in a wee drop of oil. And the first thing we're going to do is heat that oil up, so I've got quite a high heat under there. I'm going to heat this up and we're going to pan fry our pork. Just put that in there. So we're just going to cook that for about 4 minutes. There you are, as you can see, that's it all nice and coloured now. So I'm just going to take this off the heat and I'm going to move that out the way. I'm going to lower the heat to medium and then I'm going to put in my beautiful new casserole dish. And into this I'm going to add another little bit of oil. I'm just going to let that heat up a little bit. So we're just going to add our onions into here and we're going to put it onto a medium heat and we're just going to allow them to cook away gently until they're nice translucent. We'll just keep an eye on it. So as you can see here, I came back and my onions are just starting to brown a little bit, so we just want to add our garlic now. So I'm looking for 2 teaspoons of garlic. There we go. And I just want to cook that off gently for a couple of minutes. I'm just going to keep stirring it because we don't want the garlic to burn. So the next thing I'm going to add is 2 tablespoons of flour. And I'm going to put in a tablespoon of sage. And then I'm going to stir this through. Let me give this a minute. Get everything all coated. Just like so. And I'm going to increase the heat and I'm going to pour in a 500ml bottle of pear cider. All good stuff. And then I'm just going to let that come to the boil. So that's it, came to the boil now and I'm just going to let it cook off for about 5 minutes. So now that this has been cooking off for like 5 minutes, I'm going to add in the pork. I'm using a slotted spoon to do that so we don't transfer over any of the oil that may be still left. There we go. Now I'm not going to wash out that frying pan just yet because I'm going to use the juices in that to cook some asparagus just before we're ready to serve up. So there we go, that's our pork back in. And now we're just going to put the lid on. Isn't that beautiful? We're going to reduce the heat to low and we're going to allow that to simmer away for 10 minutes, and then we'll come back and put the pear in. Here we are, this is me back. It's been 10 minutes and that's been bubbling away beautifully. So now I'm just going to add in the pear. Another stir. And that. And just pop the lid back on. And give it another 10 minutes. So what I've done here is I've just moved the casserole dish over to another ring, and I'm just going to cook off this asparagus now. So you don't know if you can see in the pan, there's still the juices from when I cooked the pork. So I'm just going to fry off this asparagus, and then we'll add it to the dish. Now remember, asparagus doesn't need to be cooked for very long at all. Want it nice and crisp still. So here we are. My camera just ran out of battery halfway through filming this, so I'm just going to talk you through what I did. I fried off this asparagus just for a couple of minutes in the frying pan that I had used to cook the pork, and then I've just stirred them in along with 100ml of double cream, and then I've just let that heat through, and then realised that my camera was switched off, so I've just put it back on just to let you see. This is what it looks like once it is done. Now, it's one of these recipes, it says the original that I have of course adapted about 6 times now, said just to serve with crusty bread, which is lovely. But if you want to make a more filling meal, you can have it with rice or mashed potatoes. If you want to do a one pot meal, then you could cook up some nice baby potatoes and then just stir them through, and that way you could cook this in the morning or the night before, whatever, put your potatoes in, and then when you come in the next day, it's just a case of, or later that day, it's just a case of heating it up, and then you've got a lovely creamy pork and pear casserole, and it's absolutely delicious, so I hope you enjoy it. For me, I am going to put this into a nice Tupperware dish. You see, dip it all in, and then I have got some mash in the freezer that I made a few weeks ago, so when the time comes I will pair these together, and if you see, I've got that just like that. I like these click tubs because you know that they're not going to open up. I've had a few instances lately where some of my containers have fallen out the freezer and opened, so I like this idea now. So we're going to stick this in the freezer once it's cooled down, and that'll be a homemade ready meal for us, along with mashed potatoes one night when I don't have enough time to cook.